Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's Diego here on the shortest day of the year, and I'm gonna do the live stream early. We normally do the live stream at 6 p.m. Central Time on Saturdays and Wednesdays, but I'm gonna start the live stream early, okay? Because we're gonna go to Karina's Christmas gathering with her friends this afternoon later on. So we will not be able to do the live stream tonight. So I'm doing it right now. And Karina's getting ready, doing stuff in the back of the house. So you got me all to yourself. Now, I'm not an immigration attorney. I don't give you any legal advice. I don't work for USCIS or the State Department. I don't work for any of those entities. I don't work for any of those companies that charge you $800,000, $900,000 to fill out a simple green card application or a K-1 visa application. I've got 10 years of experience putting together K-1 visas and green cards. 10 years. It's easy to do. And Karina, my lovely prometida, my wife, she's from Venezuela. She grew up in Caracas, Venezuela. She relocated to Bogota, Colombia in 2017 to escape communism. She didn't like the dictatorship of Venezuela. She relocated to Colombia, and that's where we met each other and dated each other. And we dated for over a year, and then I lived with her for 2.5 years, and we got married on January 14th, 2024 here on Navarre Beach. So she got her K-1 visa approved. It took almost 2 years because of the COVID. COVID was at the tail end of COVID. And then she had her security visa interview at the U.S. Embassy in Bogota, Colombia. Most of you guys know this already, but if you're new to the channel, this is what happened. So she had her visa interview at the embassy in Bogota, and then she had to get an Interpol police certificate, and she had to get some other stuff we had to get done. And then we flew from El Dorado International Airport in Bogota to Miami, and then we drove. I rented a Jeep Cherokee, and we drove from Miami all the way up here to the Panhandle of Florida. So Karina, she got to travel, I think, probably through at least 40 counties. So she got to see the east coast of Florida and the whole panhandle of Florida. And now I'm here on this channel to give you free advice on how to process your K-1 visa. I want to help you get your green card application, okay? That's why the channel is here. It's here for you. Now, I repainted the office, and after I got it repainted, I was able to put my pictures back up. So I got some of the pictures back up. And I got Mountain Dew ready to go for those folks that get Mountain Dew salutes. Now, like I said, I normally do the live stream at like 6 p.m. Central Time, okay, on Saturdays. Today's now 2:31 p.m. in the afternoon. I'm doing it early because we're going to go to Karina's Christmas friends gathering at their house, way out in the country. So I got to drive out into the countryside, which is okay. But we will be doing the Christmas gathering, and we won't be able to do the live stream. So I'm doing the live stream early. So if you got any questions, I'm here to help you. If you just want to hang out and see what's going on, you can just hang out with us and see what's going on. But Karina, she's in the back right now. She's doing stuff, getting ready to go out because we're going to leave right after I get done with the live stream. Then we're going to head out and go see her friends. Okay? Now, we got Paulino Gomez, first up to bat for a question. Does my wife have to officially change her name before we apply for the 2-year green card? No, she doesn't. Paulino. This is how your wife changes her last name to her husband's last name. When you fill out Form 485, USCIS Form I-485, okay, on page 1, this is the application for the 2-year green card. Paulino, listen, when you fill out the I-485, on page 1, it asks, what is your current legal name? Well, your wife, this is the paperwork, this is the application for your wife. She will put down her full name is, whatever her first name is, her middle name, and what her married name is now to you. The second question asks, have you gone by any other name? Well, yeah, she had her maiden name in the past, right? So on the second question on page 1 of the I-485, she will put in her first name, middle name, and her maiden name. So immigration will know that she's changed her last name to your last name, She's taken Paulino's last name, okay, which is good. Karina took my last name, but you accomplished this on page 1 of USCIS Form I-485. You don't have to do anything before that, okay? You don't have to go to a lawyer. You don't have to go to the government office. You don't have to go anywhere. All you do is you do it on page 1 of USCIS Form 485. Let me see if I can show you. I can show you right here. I got an entire green card package right here, basically. So here's page 1, right? That's page 1 of USCIS Form I-485. Your wife will put her married name in here, right here. Her married name will go right here, her last name. And then down in here, this is where she's going to put her maiden name. So Karina, when she filled out this form, she put in here Ross, Karina, her middle name. And then down here, she put her maiden name, okay, her first name, Karina, and her middle name. That's it. That is the legal document that you use to change your wife's last name to yours. Then you file for the green card, and then the green card will either be mailed to you, okay? If you put together a strong green card package, it will be mailed to you. If immigration want to do a face-to-face, they just want to talk to you, that's fine. Don't panic about it if they do. The green card will be issued to your wife with your last name, Paulina. Do you have any questions? Isn't that easy or what? You learned today something new on this channel, right? To get there's no lawyers required. There's nothing required other than your wife putting your last name on page 1 of USCIS Form I-485. It's easy, right? You can do this. You don't need an immigration attorney to do this. And if you hang out with me, I will help you through the process for free. That's the reason. I was in Villa de Leyva in Colombia with Karina, and we were walking around Villa de Leyva, and Karina said, you need to do something while you're in Colombia. So I changed my YouTube channel from Colombia, Exploring Colombia. I changed it to your YouTube channel, K1 Visa Processing. Paulino Gomez, thank you. So you got it, right? It's easy. This is so easy, a caveman can do it. And but you could have called an immigration attorney, and an immigration attorney would have given you a 10-minute spiel on stuff that's probably irrelevant, and then told you how to do it. And then he would have cost you $400 or $500 for the 10-minute phone call, right? I was in Villa de Leyva with Karina, and Karina, my wife, she said, why don't you put a channel together to help visas and K1s and green cards? So this is what I did. And so far, it's turned out pretty good. I've helped a bunch of people. But remember, I've got 10 years of experience doing this. If you want to know where you want to mail your green card application to, just tell me what state you live in, and I'll give you the address right here on the live stream. If you have a question on how to fill out the K1 visa I-129F, it's only 13 pages long. It's not difficult. I'll give you the answer right here. If you need a question on how to fill out the USCIS Form I-485, the adjustment of status, it's only 20 pages long. It's not difficult to do. Now, remember this. In these forms, like especially with the I-485, the I-485 is a form that the beneficiary, now your husband or wife, fills out to adjust status to green card, okay? And like Karina, she doesn't speak English, so I got a translator to translate the form to her, okay? So they translated the form to her, and boom, bam, there you go. When I applied for the K1 visa with Form I-129F, I know how to speak English and Spanish and some Italian, so I was not required a translator. So you put NA, NA, NA. When you fill out immigration forms, if it doesn't pertain to you, you must put NA in the block. Don't leave it blank, okay? So I filled out the I-129F. Did I need a translator? No. So I put NA, 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 and all that. Now, don't make this mistake. Somebody in the past, they got their 13 pages of the I-129F, and they said they didn't need a translator, so they took out the pages that didn't need a translator, threw it in the trash, and they submitted for the K-1 visa. Well, the K-1 visa came back denied. Why? Because they took out those 2 pages, which they did, and they said, well, I don't need a translator. I don't need a translator. Well, you may not need a translator, but you got to leave that paperwork in there because it's a legal document. It's a 13-page legal document. So you can't change the document. If it doesn't pertain, put NA. If you don't need if nobody helped fill out the form for you, if you didn't need a helper, put NA. Do you see what I'm saying? Let's say, for example, you're filling out the I-129F and your wife, or your fiance, you don't know what her dad's name is. Let's suppose she doesn't even know who her dad is. It's possible, right? Sometimes it's possible that your fiance says, I don't know who my dad is. I don't know his date of birth. I don't know where he lives. So what do you put in that block? Unknown. You put unknown. You don't know. Don't put NA because it's applicable. If you don't know, if your beneficiary, she doesn't know her mom's name, her dad's name, his date of birth, her date of birth, you put unknown. So immigration will see the paperwork. Okay, you don't know. Okay. Do you see what I'm saying? Francois Livingston in upstate New York. Good afternoon, Diego and Karina. Who's at work? No, Karina, she just got off of work. Okay. I picked her up from work. So because she's tired after a long day, so I pick her up. She has her driver's license, but I want to give her a rest time. She can sit in the car and relax. And she is right now getting ready to go see her friends for the Christmas dinner thing that's going on with her friends. So I want to go too, and so the dinner would be during the live stream that we normally have at 6 p.m. So I'm doing the live stream early, and Karina's getting ready to go visit her friends. Francois, I inquired with the tax office here in town about the quitclaim deed not allowed to do in New York. Oh, imagine that, right? Asked why, fear of fraudulent claims. Back to the attorney. Francois, I'm sorry to hear that. Okay? But here in Florida, you can do a quitclaim deed. So when I put Karina on the house, I put her name on the house deed. I just went down to the office, okay? And with my ID, my driver's license, Karina's passport, her Venezuelan ID, her Colombian ID. So everybody knew who Karina was. Everybody knew who I was. I paid the $10 and put her name on the quitclaim deed, via quitclaim deed. So apparently New York doesn't want to take the time to check IDs. They don't want to take the time to make sure that the identification presented is real. So they say, you got to go through a freaking attorney. Well, Francois, I tried to save you a bunch of money, okay? But I don't control the government of New York, okay? The government of New York is more interested in collecting taxes than they are in helping people, okay? The purpose of a New Yorker is to pay money to the government so the government can sit back on their backsides and do nothing other than the NYPD. So that's why we live in Florida. I used to live in New York. I used to live in Staten Island, okay? And I said, as soon as I was able to, I got the heck out of Staten Island. My aunt drove me to the John F. Kennedy Airport in Queens, and I flew to Jacksonville, got on a Greyhound bus, came over to Fort Walton Beach, found a job, and I have never been happier. Francois, it's unfortunate, isn't it? Francois, listen. When Hammond gets his green card, you got to wait till he gets his green card. You don't want to move in the middle of a processing, okay? When he gets his green card, get the hell out of New York State. Get out of there. Move to Florida or go to Nevada or Texas. You know, they don't have income tax. So if you go to Florida and get a good job in a hospital, which I know you can do with your qualifications, the state of Florida is not going to tax you on your income. You get to keep it. You still got to pay your federal taxes, obviously, once a year, which is, you know, to me is also a freaking ripoff. When we could use tariffs to fund the government, tariffs could easily fund the government. You reduce the size of government, you downsize the government, and you run the country off of tariffs, and then get rid of the IRS and get rid of income tax. The way things used to be back in the 1912, 1913, somewhere back in there. Don't quote me on that. Yeah, it's unfortunate, Francois, that you have to live in New York State. But the good news is you can leave, but wait until Hamid gets his green card. Get out of there. If you come to Florida, okay, we have hurricanes, which sucks, but you get 5 days notice. You got in 5 days, a hurricane's going to hit. Where's it going to hit? Well, we don't know. But you got 5 days to get out of here, okay? And New York, they have earthquakes. So it's either or, right? An earthquake, you don't get any notice. And you get bad weather. The weather sucks. Here the weather's hot in the summertime. But, anyway. The thing is this, guys. When you move to the United States of America, we want you to get your green cards. Karina wants to see you succeed. Even, believe it or not, even immigration wants to see you pass and get qualified and get your green card. Because then you start work, right? Karina's working. She's been working for, 6-7 months now with this company. She's paying her FICA tax. She's paying her Medicare tax. She's paying into the system. She's already started the process, which when Karina becomes 62 years of age, she'll qualify for Social Security as long as she stays working. And it takes 10 years and 40 hours of work, 40 credit hours, you have to qualify for Social Security. So if you come to the United States on a K-1 visa, let's suppose you're 60 years old. Do you want to go to work? Probably not, but you're not going to qualify for Social Security, but you will qualify for your husband's Social Security so long as you've been married longer than 9 months. So you come to America, you marry a U.S. citizen, the beneficiary will qualify for his or her husband's Social Security, okay? Marvel Campbell, hello Diego, happy to be here. Have fun at the party. Well, it's a Christmas party, I guess. And Karina, she started work when once she got a work permit, then she got a green card. She started work, and she made all these friends. She makes friends like this. So all of her work pals invited her to their house, for this one house, for this Christmas party, and I got invited too. But it's on Saturday at 6 p.m. is when it starts. And that's when we do the live stream. So I said, okay, I'll do the live stream now. Karina's getting ready for the Christmas party. I'm doing the live stream. You guys get to ask me questions. I get to answer questions. And everybody's happy. And we didn't miss a Saturday. Because I don't like to miss a live stream. Because there's lots of people that are waiting for questions, to ask me questions. Some of them are critical. They got to have an answer like right now. Maha Chodari, my visa was approved on the 17th of December. Get the white letter when I received my passport from Islamabad Embassy. Ma, you get the first Mountain Dew salute of this day, the shortest day of the year. Today is December 21st, 2024. It's the shortest day of the year. So tomorrow, daylight's going to start getting longer and longer. And let me tell you this, Mountain Dew salute to Maha Chaudhry. Congratulations. And the question is, when do I get my passport from the embassy in Islamabad? It takes about, probably in Pakistan, right? About 10 days, a week to 10 days. And you're good. When you get your K-1 visa, Maha, look in there, make sure there's no mistakes on your name. Make sure there's no errors on the K-1 visa, okay? And then buy a one-way plane ticket and fly to the United States. But hopefully your sponsor, your U.S. citizen sponsor, can accompany you through the immigration checkpoint. When Karina got her K-1 visa approved in Bogota, Colombia, I was in Colombia at the time. I was there. I'd been there for about 3 months, and my Colombian tourist visa was about ready to expire. So we were running out of time, basically. But I flew back to. I accompanied Karina to Florida from Colombia. It's always good if you, Mr. Sponsor, Ms. Sponsor, can accompany your beneficiary through the checkpoint at the U.S. Customs and Border Patrol, because it shows that basically you guys. are in a real relationship. That's part of the deal, right? Let me see. Shiku Dumbaya. Diego, how long does it take to receive a receipt of my I-485 application? Well, it could sit. If it depends where it gets mailed. There are 4 places that a green card application goes mailed. It goes to Chicago, it goes to Elgin, Illinois, it goes to Texas, and it goes to Phoenix, Arizona. It depends on where it goes. There's only 4 places that you can go, and it gets mailed depending on what city you live in. Then it depends on the workload of the embassy, of the USCIS. How busy are they? Okay. So it could take anywhere from 10 days to 3 weeks to send you that notice. So you got to be patient. This whole process is all about being patient. Immigration's busy. They're understaffed. Okay. They need to hire more people. They need to hire at least 2,000 more people to get things really moving quicker. Okay. Just be patient, Shiku. 10 days to 3 weeks in there. Jade Giante, when the fiance arrives in the United States, how does the process work for them to get their social security card, health insurance, etc.? Well, you can get this. Listen, Jade, you can get the social security card 2 ways. Let me show you. There's 2 ways to get a social security card. Okay. I'm going to have to pull out some paperwork here. The first way that you can apply for a social security card is to go to the Social Security office in your town or city where you live, set an appointment. Okay. Now, where we live in Florida, we just walked in and sat down and waited for 10 minutes. Where we live, it's not a big population. But if you live in a city like Shiku, she sent her paperwork to Phoenix, Arizona. Okay. So it will take about 3 to 4 weeks to get the letter for Shiku from Phoenix. But to get the social security number, you can either you get your I-94. So the beneficiary arrives in America. Karina arrived in America. She had her I-94. We printed 5, 6 copies. I think 6 copies of her I-94. We then jumped in the car and we drove to the Social Security office in town. It's about an hour away. And we pulled the numbers, waited a turn, and presented her I-94. Here's her I-94, her passport. And they looked at her K-1 visa and they said, okay, in about a week we'll mail you a social security card. They put in her name and all that, and they issued her a social security number from the Social Security Administration, and it gets mailed from Baltimore, Maryland. Now, if you don't want to do that, if you don't want to drive to the Social Security office and do that, then you can file for the social security number on page 2 of USCIS form I-485, okay, which would be right here. Right here. Okay, it says right here on page 2 of 485. Has the Social Security Administration ever issued you a Social Security card? You put no. You say no, they haven't. But if you got your Social Security number in advance from your I-94, then you put yes. And then you write the Social Security number right here. But if you didn't get it yet, if you didn't do that, you put no. And then it says, do you want the Social Security Administration to issue you a Social Security card? Well, yeah, you do, because you didn't get one yet. So you put yes right here. And then the next question is, do you authorize basically Homeland Security to apply for your Social Security card for you via the Social Security Administration? And you'll put yes. So you're going to fill out this block right here, right, which is on page 2 of USCIS form I-485. You see that? You got it? So you can do it 2 ways. You can either do it in person, or you can just apply for your green card and do it on page 2 of the green card application. Pretty easy, right? It's easy. But if you apply in person, the Social Security card is going to come in the mail with your wife's or future wife's maiden name on it, and a statement that says you're not allowed to work without permission of Homeland Security. So you get the Social Security card in the mail. If you apply in person, before you file for the green card, it's going to be in your maiden name if you're a female. And you're going to have a disclosure you cannot work without a green card or a work permit. Okay, so you got your Social Security number in your hand, with the disclosure on it and the maiden name. Then you file for, then you can get on joint bank accounts. You can do this, you can do this, you can do this. Okay. Then when you file for the green card, you're going to put no on page 2. No, I don't need for you to file for my Social Security number. When you get your green card in your hand, you go back to the Social Security office and say, here's my green card. I need to update my legal status. So the Social Security office person will go on the computer. They will put in your alien number from your green card and change your status to legal permanent resident. And they will mail you a new green card, a new Social Security number card. The Social Security number stays the same. That doesn't change. But your name will change on the Social Security card. It will be like Karina, went from Karina maiden name to Karina Ross. And then that verbiage will go away that says you cannot work without permission of Homeland Security. Why does it go away? Because the Social Security Administration just saw your green card, right? They saw it. They held it. That means you can work in the United States without interference. Basically, you just can't get a job with, which requires a security clearance. But there you go. That's how you do it. Let me see here. I want to make sure. So, Jay, did that answer your question on Social Security numbers? Now, health insurance is up to you. I put Karina on my military health insurance. Okay. So she's on military insurance. But if you're not military, you can get Blue Cross, Blue Shield. You call your private insurance company up and say, hey, I want to put my new husband or wife on my health insurance. And you got to do that before you file the green card. Very important, okay? Very important. You do that before you file the green card. When Karina filed for her green card, her health insurance was already signed and approved by the U.S. military. So when immigration opened up her green card application, they saw that she was on a joint bank account with me. She had health insurance. She was on the water bill, the electric bill. She was on the trash bill, the sewer bill, all that. Because when you file for the green card, you got to show cohabitation. Number one, you got to show you live together. Now, let's supposing you live in an apartment complex and the property manager won't put you, the beneficiary, on the deed or the lease to the apartment until they see your green card. But you want to include that lease agreement in your application for your green card to prove you live together. Well, if your property manager will not do that, okay, what you do is you ask the property manager, can you please write a letter or an affidavit on letterhead paper of the property where you live, and say I'm the property manager of this apartment complex, and as soon as and I can testify that this person and this person are married, they live together at this address, and as soon as I get the green card in the mail, I'll put them on the lease. Okay, see what I'm saying? Let me see. Jay, so health insurance is on you, and the Social Security card, there's 2 ways to get it. Okay, Jay, you got it, right? It's easy, right? It's easy to do. Let me see here. Maha Chaudhry, oh, thank you. I started my K1 journey with you. Well, very good. May you remember me? I do. I mostly comment on your videos. No, Maha, I remember you. I didn't forget you. Shiku, you sent your green card application to Phoenix, Arizona. And Jade says, thank you, no problem. Shiku, Diego, I said 3 to 4 weeks. Where did you say 3 to 4 weeks? Did I say 3 to 4 weeks? I did, yes. Shiku, Diego, I opened a bank account with my old name, not my new name. I am waiting when I receive my green card. Can I go back to the bank and update my new name? Yes, you can. You can do that. Let me put pixie dust on Shiku's application here. Come on. Let's pixie dust this one, okay? You can do that. But when you file for the 10-year green card, you got to make sure your married name is on that paperwork for the bank. Yeah, you can do that, Shiko. Don't worry. Abduli Jallo. Hey, Diego, greetings to you. Greetings, Abduli. My fiance made a mistake in the I-129F, my date of birth, and I've already received my I-797. What type of impact will I be facing? Well, immigration is going to look at your passport, and on your passport is going to be your date of birth. So, your sponsor, here, I always tell you guys this, pay attention to passport numbers, date of birth, don't transpose numbers, don't mess it up, but you can fix it. Okay? Abduli, here's what happened. Here's what you got to do. You got your sponsor has to contact USCIS either by phone or preferably by email, wherever, and you send it to. It's probably you got to wait till it gets to the service center. It went to Louisville, Texas. Now you got to wait for the service center to pick it up. What service center did it go to? Call the service center and say you got to fix the date of birth. Okay, it's easy to fix, but you got to fix it. Got to contact the service center where the K-1 visa application went to. Shiku Dumbaya, Diego, I checked the Phoenix time. They said 13 and a half months. No, it's not going to take 13 and a half months to get the I-797. They're going to open it up in about a month, okay, and send you the letter. They're going to send you an IOE number, a receipt number saying they received it. They're going to cash the paperwork, cash the check. Make sure you pay by check. Never pay for a green card application or a K-1 visa with a credit card. Never use your credit card. Even though they say you can use your credit card, don't do it, because most of the banks don't recognize the charge from USCIS. USCIS sends the charge to the bank. They say, what the heck? The bank says, what is this? I don't know what this is. And they block the charge, and then your green card goes into limbo, and the process stops because immigration didn't get paid, right? But if you write a check to U.S. Department of Homeland Security for the correct amount, they can cash it right away, and your green card process will continue. CQ, don't panic. 13.5 months. It's not going to take 13.5 months to get your green card. It's going to take 9 or 10 months. And CQ, I use my personal check. That's good. Abduli, you got to call your sponsors, got to call the service center where your green K-1 visa application went to. Got to call and fix the date of birth. It's not going to hurt. It's not going to be a problem as long as you fix it. The worst case scenario will be an RFE. Okay? To fix it through an RFE. But if you can fix it over the phone, try to do that first, okay? Adam Michael Fellows. How long does it take to get the case number for the visa center? So you're talking to the National Visa Center in New Hampshire. And how long does it take to get approved? What are the next steps? Well, are we talking about a K-1 visa or a spousal visa? What kind of visa are we talking about? Are you married to a foreign national? Did you apply for a CR1 spousal visa? Or have you applied for a K-1 fiancé visa? If you applied for a K-1 fiancé visa, you mail it to Texas, Louisville, Texas. They get it. They send it to the service center, most likely California or Texas. They process it, which takes 4 to 6 months. Then you get an NOA-2 letter saying that they've approved your K-1 visa. Then about 4 to 6 weeks after that, maybe 8 weeks, 3 months tops, the service center will mail it to the National Visa Center. Boom. And Shiku, look at that super chat from Shiku. Thank you, Shiku. Shiku, you've got this, okay? You'll be all right. It's not going to take 13 and a half months to get your green card. I promise you. So, once you get your NOA-2 letter, okay, Adam, the NOA-2 letter is going to be it's going to give you a 4-month window of time on the NOA-2 letter. Relax, don't panic. On the 4-month window of time, because it's going to take longer than 4 months to get this done. Okay, but you can extend the NOA2 letter very easily by maintaining contact with the NVC in New Hampshire and or the embassy. All right. Let me see here. So you said it's a good idea when my girlfriend she's not your girlfriend, she's your fiance from Hong Kong comes to the United States to live together. It is a good idea when my girlfriend from Hong Kong comes to the United States to live together. No, you're going to bring your fiance on a K1 visa and get married and live together. That's how it works, Adam, on a K1. So Adam, you get a K1, you file the K1. 6 months, you get the NOA2 letter. 2 to 3 months later, it goes to the National Visa Center. The National Visa Center looks at it, makes sure there's no mistakes. They send it to the embassy in Hong Kong. Okay? The U.S. Embassy in Hong Kong will get it, and then they will email you and tell you they received it. It'll be an in-transit status and then a ready status. Then you email the embassy in Hong Kong and make sure you maintain contact with Hong Kong. The embassy, U.S. Embassy, that will extend your NOA2 letter. The whole process is going to take probably, I would say, 13 months for the K1. But remember, Adam, she's not your girlfriend. On a K1 visa isn't about bringing your girlfriend to the United States to live with you. A K1 visa is a fiancé visa. So you better be engaged to your fiancé, number one. Number two, you got to get married within 90 days when she arrives in the United States of America on the I-94, that period of time. If you don't get married within 90 days, she'll be deported. Okay, which is, that's the rule. So you get the K1 visa. She goes to the visa interview at the embassy in Hong Kong, at the U.S. Embassy. They will biometrically put her visa in her passport. I think she's from Hong Kong, so that's communist China now. So she'll probably, I don't know if she has if it'll be a Chinese passport, probably. And then you go to Hong Kong and you fly back to the United States with her, bring her through the U.S. Customs and Border Control. How long does it take to get the case number from the National Visa Center? About 6 weeks to 3 months. 6 weeks to 3 months. What are the next steps from the National Visa Center? You're going to wait for the ready status from the embassy in Hong Kong. So the process is this. You file the K1 visa to Louisville, Texas. They send it to the service center, either Texas, California, Nebraska, wherever. They get it. They approve it in 6 months. Then they send it to the National Visa Center after about 4 to 6 weeks, 8 weeks. Then you get a case number from the National Visa Center and an invoice number. Then the National Visa Center will check it. There's no problems. They will send it by secure courier, DHL, in a consular packet to the embassy in Hong Kong. They will get it. Then the embassy will contact you with a ready status. And then you email the embassy and check in with them and then start the process through the embassy. They will direct you on how to do it. And then if your NOA2 letter has expired, don't worry about it. Karina's NOA2 letter expired September of 2023. I wasn't able to schedule a visa interview for her till November of 2023. So her NOA2 letter was expired for 2 months. Okay? But because I was in contact with the National Visa Center and I was in contact with the embassy in Bogota, her NOA2 letter was extended. You got it? Do you understand the process? Then she goes to the visa interview, okay? Fly to Hong Kong with a copy of your K1 visa packet. The K1 visa application you sent to the K1 visa folks in Texas, bring a copy of it to Hong Kong, okay? So that your fiance can bring it to the embassy interview. Did that answer your question on the basics of the process? Okay. Is it a good idea for my girlfriend? She's not your girlfriend. She's your fiance from Hong Kong, come to the United States to live together. It's a good idea if you're in love with each other, you're in a real relationship, you're engaged to be married, and you're going to get married when she gets here within 90 days. That's how it works. And Shiku, another Mountain Dew salute. Shiku, we appreciate you. Karina's getting ready for her friend's Christmas party. I'm just going to go like this. I'm already ready. But Shiku, Mountain Dew salute. Thank you. We appreciate you. Let's see here. Ren S. Hey, Diego, my husband got his work permit and new Social Security card in the mail last week. The I-485 is still in process. We applied for both November 1st, 2024. Okay. So you got the work permit very quickly. Ren S. Mountain Dew salute to Ren S. That's a pretty quick turnaround. So now all you got to do is wait for the green card. Give it 6 to 9 months. Shiku. Diego, how long does it take to receive my work permit? 1 month to 3 months. I need to work. I have a job offer here in Oregon. Well, that's a Mountain Dew salute. Congratulations on your job offer. But remember, you cannot start work until you get your work permit. Don't make the mistake. Some people make the stupid mistake. They think they can work with the Social Security card. You can't do that. If you go to work with a Social Security card, okay, wherever you live, if you live in Florida especially, the state of Florida is mandatory to notify Tallahassee that they've hired somebody new. Oh, we hired this new person. Okay, are they in the country legally? No, well, they got a Social Security number. Yeah, but the Social Security number says you cannot work without permission from Homeland Security. And what permission is that? A work permit and a green card. You got it? But good job, Ren S. And Shiku, how long does Shiku to Ren S? How long did the work permit take? It took her a month, looks like. Almost 2 months. Fazak, hey Fazak, hi Diego. My fiance was approved December 16th. Okay, her medical exam was only good until December 27th. You got to repeat the medical exam. Oh, wait a second. So she leaves Christmas Eve at 3 p.m. Phew, Mountain Dew salute. Make sure there's no plane delays, no flight delays, because Fazak, listen, she won't be allowed into the United States with an expired medical exam. A Mountain Dew salute to Fazak. She won't be allowed into America with an expired medical exam. So please make sure that freaking plane leaves on time on December 27th. My fiance was approved December 16th. Good. Her medical exam is only good until December 27th. And so she leaves on the December 24th. So she leaves 3 days before her medical exam expires. That's a close one right there, Fazak. That's pretty tight. Make sure she gets on that plane. But good job. Ren S. It was super fast to get the work permit. She got it. Okay, very quick. In a month. I just hope my husband and I have to go for the scary visa interview, and then my income is enough. If you, Ren S, if you submitted a very strong green card application, or your husband did, you probably won't get another visa interview. They're just too busy and understaffed. Okay, and you won't get an RFE as long as you put the green card package together. Help him put it together, and don't make any mistakes. Make sure you put the date of birth down properly, the passport numbers down properly, the names are spelled correctly. Okay, so remember, Karina, she's got her mom's name, she got her dad's name, and you got to be real careful with the paperwork, especially on the I-129F and the I-485. Okay. You won't get an RFE if you pay attention to details. Ren S, my work permit literally took 30 days. Yeah, that's quick. I sent off my income, I-485 form and work permit formed together on November 1st from Texas, and received work permit in the mail December 9th. That's good. Ren S, congratulations to you. So you were paying attention to the videos I made, right? You paid attention to the videos that I made, and you learned a lot, and you got it done. Fazak, yes, lots of last-minute scrambling. Yes, embassy took a long time. I understand. And told me be there before December 27th. You better believe it. Or you have to start the process all over again. That's what I've been trying to say to you. Last minute Christmas airfares means I cannot go. Okay, you cannot go, Fazak, don't worry. It's okay. And probably the airfares are 3 times the price during Christmas week. I remember because when I was in Colombia with Karina, I bought plane tickets during Christmas week to come to Miami, to fly to Miami. How is it? How far is it from Bogota to Miami? What is it? What, 2.5 hour flight, right? 3 hours? It's not that far. And normally the plane ticket one way from Bogota to Miami is about $250 because it's like going from Jacksonville to Panama City, right? It was Christmas week when I bought the plane ticket for Karina and for myself, and it was $1,000. Talk about daylight robbery, but I paid it because I wanted to make sure Karina got out of Colombia and we were able to start our lives together. But Fazak, please make sure that there's no problems with that flight, okay? And don't worry if you can't go, it's okay. You can write, it's Christmas week, we understand. Renes Diego, I got offered a new job from Geico, which is offering $25.46 per hour, but I must pass a property and casualty state exam. Yes, you do. In order for me to sell houses, I had to have a real estate license. I had to take real estate law. I had to go to school. I had to take exams. I had to do this. I had to do that. Then I had to take a state exam. And once I made it through all that, then I was probationary, basically telling them what I was doing. Okay? But I got a license to sell real estate in Florida. And the same is true with insurance. And, it's just part of the deal. The state of Texas is like Florida. They're very strict, okay, on making sure you understand the process. But you can do this. Now you got something to look. Now you got a goal to achieve, right? That's good pay right there. Geico will give me paid training to prep me for the exam. Very good. And pay for the state exam. Very good. For 2 weeks. But if I pass, then I get a job. If I fail, then no job. Well, obviously, if I pass, the job will pay me enough to survive. Well, we're going to put pixie dust all over your exam and study hard. Study hard, okay? And you can do this. Francois, Hamid's physical isn't going to take place until late January. That's okay. He's got to go back on January 20th for the varicella dose. Number 2, Karina had to do the same thing, but she did it in Colombia. Are we still okay to send the green card package after we get the sealed envelope? Once you get the sealed envelope from the doctor, the civil surgeon, you're good to go. Immigration, pay attention to what the civil surgeon says. The civil surgeon says you're good to go. The civil surgeon they'll sign the form I-693, okay? And you're good to go. So Francois, you're good. You can do that as soon as you get the sealed envelope. Renes, life and immigration will see my income is higher than I applied for the I-485. Well, Renes, things are looking up for you in Texas, the great state of Texas. The only thing I don't like about Texas is the freaking property taxes are so high. The property taxes in Texas are insanely high. So, maybe the Texas state legislature needs to do something about the property taxes to reduce them, because it's stopping a lot of real estate agents from selling houses to people that live out of state who want to move to Texas. And then the people that live out of state look at the property taxes and go, no, I'm not going to move to Texas. So it's costing real estate agents and the state of Texas from good people moving there. Other than Elon Musk, who doesn't really care how much property taxes are because he's the richest man in the world. So I'll give a salute to Elon Musk for being a superstar capitalist and a job creator. Let me see. So Fazak, it's out of our hands now, up to Thai Airlines, Qatar Airlines, and immigration agents at the airport. That's right. Once she makes it to the United States, she'll go through the Border Patrol checkpoint, and then they'll issue her an I-94. Okay? The I-94 will then cancel out the K-1 visa basically and start a new processing time for you of 90 days. The I-94 comes into effect and the K-1 visa has served its purpose, which is to get her from Thailand to the United States. Then the K-1 visa becomes obsolete, and then you're working from the I-94, which gives you another 90 days. Okay? What I recommend, Fazak, what you must do, this is a mandatory now. When you get your fiance to America and you get married, okay, you got to find a civil surgeon. Whatever city you live in the United States, you got to find a civil surgeon approved by the State Department, and you must repeat the medical exam. You got to repeat it. And then this second medical exam, which will be signed, an I-693 will be signed again for the second time. The vaccinations will be recertified. She doesn't have to repeat the vaccinations. She just got to get recertified. That will go in a sealed envelope. You're going to include it in the green card application. That medical exam is good for infinity. So you don't have to repeat the medical exam for the 10-year green card, but you're going to have to repeat it for the 2-year green card. Fazak, you got it? Get to America. She gets her I-94. The K-1 visa goes away. You're working off the I-94. You got 90 days to get married. Get you repeat the medical exam, and get all the paperwork together for the 2-year green card. And you can do it. And let me see here. So you got to get her into America before the medical exam expires. Let me see what else we got. Francois, family's physical isn't going to take place until like January. That's okay. Don't worry about it. You can, as long as you get that sealed envelope from the civil surgeon, Francois, you're good to go. Then you can put that in with the green card application. And Renes, I don't know anything about insurance. Well, you're going to learn pretty quick. I didn't know anything about selling houses. I had no clue. So I went to school and learned how to do it. Okay? And then I had to take all these freaking tests. And then I had to take a state exam. And I learned how to do it. Then you got to find a broker that knows what he's doing or she's doing to help me learn and continue my education. So real estate agents are at the mercy of the brokers. Once they get their real estate license, they got to find a good broker that's willing to keep the training continuing for the real estate agent. Otherwise, the real estate agent's going to say, forget about it, and throw in the town, go do something else if they don't get any support from their broker. Let me see. Fazak, yep, thanks. Merry Christmas. No problem. Merry Christmas, Fazak. Mountain Dew salute to Fazak. You're going to be all right, Fazak. But I've never seen any problems with planes flying from Thailand to the United States. I've never seen any problems of delays. Let me see here. Qatar Airlines, Thai Airlines, Qatar Airlines, they're both very good companies. Okay, Delta, forget about it. I wouldn't. If you like Delta Airlines, fine. But me, I don't like Delta Airlines. They're never on time, in my opinion. Every time I fly Delta, there's either a pilot they're missing, they can't get a flight crew, they got too much baggage on the plane, they got to unload cargo, they need to put more fuel in the airplane. There's always a freaking excuse why they can't leave on time. So I don't fly Delta, period. And if you like Delta Airlines, well, that's good. I'm not saying you shouldn't fly Delta. If you've never had a problem with that airline, knock yourself out. Go fly Delta, but I will never fly Delta. Let me see. Renes, but you don't know anything about insurance. Well, you're going to learn. Do you think I can pass the exam in brought flashcards and read them for the next 3 weeks? Well, yeah, you can do that. Why don't you go on YouTube and look for classes in YouTube on how to sell insurance or become an insurance agent? It's much easier to watch a YouTube channel. You guys are on this YouTube channel to learn how to do the K-1 visa process, right? The green card application. It's much easier to watch a movie or a video than it is to sit with flashcards in your hand. But you can use that too as an extra help, sure. It's a 150 question exam, okay? Multiple choice. I need at least 70% to pass. You can do it, Renes. You can do it. You can achieve whatever you believe. If you believe you can achieve, you can do it. You know, and don't let naysayers tell you what you can't do. Excuse me, guys, but when somebody tells me I can't do something, I go do it and then say, hey, look what I did. Don't pay attention to the naysayers, number one. Number two, stay positive and you can do it. You'll pass it. Francois to Renes, you can do anything when you put your mind to it. That's right. You're smart and you've got this. Go for it. And Fazak says, Merry Christmas. Renes, thank you very much for those words of encouragement. Renes, you can do anything you put your mind to, like Francois said. For 10 years, I've been helping people get green cards and K1 visas. When I filed for my first K1 visa application 10 years ago, I had no clue what I was doing. I got a freaking RFE. I'm like, what the heck? Okay. But I learned the process. And then that first K1 visa didn't work out. She wanted to go back home to Colombia. She didn't like America. She missed her family, blah, blah, blah. I said, okay. So I took her home and divorced her, which is no problem. I didn't want her to be unhappy. And she couldn't stand the weather. She didn't want to learn how to drive, etc. It's okay. So most people would have thrown in the towel if their first K1 didn't succeed, right? But then I met Karina in Colombia. Now, Karina's from Venezuela. We fell in love. And I said, okay, guess what? It's time to do the K1 visa process again. I'm like, and this time I knew what I was getting into. Other than, but this time around was the tail end of COVID. The embassies were closed. The NVC was closed. The service centers weren't doing squat. So I went through the K1 visa a second time, okay? And I have learned so much, and I did it by myself without an immigration attorney. Can you imagine if I used an immigration attorney twice? I'd have been out of pocket to $20,000, at least 15. But I have confidence in myself, and and here Karina, she's getting ready for this Christmas party. You can do this, guys. You can get the K1 visa and the green card without a immigration attorney. You don't need to be spending that money. Renes to Francois. You appreciate Francois. Renes, I'm scared of the test just as much as the scary adjustment of status interview. Renes, you may not have to go to a scary visa interview. If you put a strong green card package together with your husband, and don't be scared of the test. Don't be scared of the test. The United States of America needs people selling real estate, but they gotta create a screening process. And if you study and you prepare, you'll pass. Okay? You can do this. Antonio. Hey, Diego, my Filipino wife is bugging me about starting driving school. I'm nervous about the situation. Was you nervous about your wife learning? No, I taught my wife how to drive a car. I didn't go to a learning school. Why do you want to pay a learning school? Do you know how to drive? So, Antonio, does your wife know how to drive a car? She does, right? So go find a church parking lot. Go find a big open space. Go find some private property and get behind the freaking wheel of the car and start learning how to drive on private property. Don't be driving on the streets without a learner's permit. But it's not difficult to learn how to drive a car. You just got to get behind the wheel and start. I taught Karina how to drive a car in 6 months. Karina had never driven a car. Remember, she lived in Caracas, Venezuela, where they have a metro. Well, they used to have a metro. I don't know if it freaking works now because of these communists. They kicked all the German engineers out of Venezuela, so they got nobody to do maintenance on the metro. but they had buses in the metro. And in Bogota, Colombia, we rode the buses everywhere, the Transmilenio. So Karina had no reason to learn how to drive a car. But she came to Florida, she's like, wow, Walmart's like, I can't walk to Walmart. And there's no freaking bus. I said, no, you gotta learn to drive. She said, okay, let's go. Let's do it. In 6 months, she learned how to drive a car and she got her driver's license. You can do the same thing. Put your mind to it, Antonio. Go find a church parking lot. Ask the church, the persons that run the church, can I practice to drive in your parking lot? And we'll do it at night, or when there's no class, there's no church in session. You don't want to do it when church is in session. And then give a little donation to the church. And first get practice driving around the parking lot. Learn how the feel of the car works, the gas pedal, the accelerator, how the drive works, the park, the reverse. Learn everything about the car. Get comfortable with the car. The first thing Karina did was she got comfortable with the car in a church parking lot. And then we took her on some private land. And she learned how to drive in a church parking lot on private land. Just learn the car or the truck or whatever it is you're going to learn to drive. So Antonio, you got to learn how to drive, or your wife has to learn how to drive. Okay, Antonio, so you know how to drive. Your Filipino wife doesn't know how to drive. Well, teach her how to drive. It's not hard. You can do it. But it's going to take at least 5 or 6 months. What I did with Karina was we went and drove 3 times a week, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. Before she started work, I took her out 3 times a week and we drove for 30 minutes. So we drove an hour and a half per week. Okay. So that's 6-7 hours a month. Over 6 months, it was about 40 or 50 hours. Nighttime, daytime, rain. It was raining. We'd go back. I'd take her out to the church parking lot. And that's how you do it. Takes about 6 months. And your wife from the Philippines can do it. No problem. And Francois, why worry about something that you don't know is going to happen? That's right. Like Diego said, if you have a strong green card package, you're good. Concentrate on your exam right now. That's correct. Francois, top of the class. Mount Dew salute to Francois for the positivity. This channel was created with a positive mindset. I'm not going to let you guys fail. I'm not going to let you fail your green card interview. If you have to go to one, I'm going to help you get your green card. I'm going to help you get your K1 visa. And Karina will be sitting in that chair right there on, what's today? Saturday? Next week, we'll do the next live stream. And let me see. Ren asked, my adjustment of status package was good, but I didn't have the kind of evidence Diego had. I did my best to send extra pictures of us and added him on whatever I could. And you really want that job. Renes wants to get that job. Well, Renes, when you said you really want that job, guess what? You're going to get that job. You're tired of working dead-end jobs. Well, if you want to come into this country from a foreign country, if you're coming here from the Philippines, wherever you're coming from, whatever country, the world is a big place. And people from 150, 160 countries watch this channel. When you get to America, bring your skills with you. If you have to go back to school, go back to school. Now, Karina's degreed up in tax accounting, okay? So what she has to do, she got to learn English. She's got to learn English. When she learns English, they're going to put her in management. But right now, she can't go to management because she can't speak English. So what does Karina say to me? I'm learning English. Got to do it. Just got to do it. I'm not book smart. So that's why I went to flashcards. Okay, you have short-term memory? Then use the flashcards. But what I would do is if you can find those questions for the test or close to the test on a YouTube channel, just watch the YouTube channel. And then that way you will never forget. If people if people go and watch the videos I've made about how to process a green card, adjustment of status, K1 visa, and etc., if they watch the video, they learn how to do it. And they can take notes if they want. And if they want to, if they're not sure about something, they can rewind the video and watch it again. That's how amazing YouTube is, right? Shiku, Diego, I don't put enough pictures. So what, 25 pictures because my wife doesn't like taking pictures, but my affidavit support is very strong. Okay, my wife makes $154,000 a year. I have 2022 and 2023 tax returns. Boom. Perfect. You're going to be perfectly fine. The number one thing immigration look at is this the relationship real? Well, you got married, right? So there you go. The next thing they look at is how much money do you make? They want to make sure the beneficiary is going to be sufficiently taken care of while she gets her education completed or waits for her green card or his green card. It's all good, CQ. Estelle. Hi, Diego. My wife received a 221G. Oh, so did Karina. When Karina went to the U.S. Embassy in Bogota, Colombia, she passed the scary visa interview, but she got a 221G because they said we want to see an Interpol police certificate. And she's like, what the heck is that? Here's my Colombian police certificate. Here's my Venezuelan police certificate. What is an Interpol police certificate? Well, Karina, you lived in Colombia for 6 years. We want to make sure you haven't lived anywhere else. So she said, okay. Took them off, but we got the Interpol police certificate. I emailed it to the embassy, and that cleared up the 221G. A 221G is basically saying that we need more information. And then you'll get your visa. Francois, Renes, we have all short-term memories. I forgot when I go to the supermarket what I went in for sometimes. Yeah. Renes, thank you, Diego, for your words of encouragement and well wishes. Renes, you can do this. Okay. If I can pass a freaking real estate exam for the state of Florida, okay, at my age, with my short-term memory, I know you can pass. I just put my mind to it and said, I'm going to do this. I want to do this. And I did it. When somebody tells me I can't do something, I'll go out and do it. As long as I can do it. It's not something stupid, but there you go. So Francois is good. Good advice from Francois. Tina Phoebe Umokoro. Hello, Diego. How is Karina? She is great. She's getting ready for her Christmas party, her work Christmas party. First of all, I want to say a very big thank you for my fiance and I got our NOA 2 letter yesterday. Our NOA 1 was on August the 2nd. We carefully followed your instructions on assembling our K1 visa packet. You watched the video, right? Thanks a bunch. So now that we have gotten our NOA 2, please, what's next? Okay, so you got your NOA 2 letter, right? Tina, look at the NOA 2 letter. And on the NOA 2 letter, under your beneficiary's name, you're going to see his alien registration number. So USCIS has issued your beneficiary an alien registration number, and it is on the NOA 2 letter, and it is below his name or above his name. Okay? Now, the second thing about the NOA 2 letter, it says it's good for 4 months. It's going to have a 4-month window of time. What's next? Well, what you're going to do now is you're going to wait for the service center to mail your approved K1 visa package to the National Visa Center in New Hampshire. It could take between 4 weeks to 3 months, 1 month to 3 months, somewhere in there. Then you're going to get a case number and an invoice number from the National Visa Center. Then the National Visa Center is going to look at it, make sure there's no mistakes, there's no errors. If there's no mistakes and no errors, they will then forward it through a courier service, DHL, to the embassy in whatever country, Tina, your beneficiary, lives in. You didn't tell me the country, but the embassy, it depends on how busy is the embassy. But to maintain your NOA 2 letter from expiring, because it's going to probably take longer than 4 months to get a K1 visa interview, the NOA 2 letter is going to expire. You got to send an inquiry to the NVC after about 6 weeks if you haven't got your case number. Say, hey, I'm just checking in. What's the status of my K1 visa? What's the status? Do you see what I'm saying? That is contact with the National Visa Center, which will extend your NOA2 letter. Then once the embassy gets it, they will send you a ready status. Send an email to the embassy and check in. In the subject line of the email, you're going to put your NOA2 letter receipt number. And in the body of the email, you're going to put your beneficiary's full name, passport number, date of birth, and your full name, etc. You got it? That keeps your NOA2 letter from timing out. And then you basically wait for the ready status from the embassy. And then when you get the ready status, you're going to go into U.S. travel docs. You'll get an email from the embassy with a detailed explanation on how to file and how to schedule the visa interview. Okay. Then you'll get the email from the embassy, the packet 3, packet 4 email, and you click on the links and it tells you how to schedule the visa interview. You pay the consular fee. You fill out the DS-160, submit it, and print the confirmation page. You got to print the confirmation page of the DS-160. The beneficiary usually fills it out. But if the beneficiary cannot speak English, the sponsor can fill out the DS-160 for the beneficiary. Like I filled out the DS-160 from the computer right here in Florida for Karina. And I printed the confirmation page. And at the bottom, at the end of the DS-160, they ask you, did anybody help you fill out this form? Well, yes, I did. So I put my name in there as a helper. And then you're going to need the DS-160 confirmation page and the passport for the biometrics in the country or where your beneficiary lives. So I flew to Colombia with the DS-160 confirmation page, the I-134, my tax returns, my tax transcripts, etc., pay stubs, etc. Gave them to Karina. Karina went to her biometrics in Bogota, Colombia with her Venezuelan passport and her DS-160 confirmation page. Got to have the DS-160 confirmation page for the biometrics. I don't care what country it is you're in. Okay? So that's basically the process, Tina. And if you hang out on the channel, stay and hang out with us on the channel, I will help you through the process to get the K1 visa interview scheduled. I'll help you get it, okay? Renes, yeah, mine's super short, get smaller as I age. Francois, yet the bills remain a huge memory no matter how hard I try to forget those. Yeah, you got to pay your bills. Where everybody, okay, is always chasing the dollar to pay the bills. It's normal. It's just life. Francois, gotta go. Say big hello to Karina. Have a great time at the Christmas party. Francois, we'll do that. And Karina, she's getting ready. And I'm going to probably end the live stream now. I've been talking for over an hour. And I probably got to go see where Karina is and what we got to do, because she's probably getting ready, wants me to get ready to leave and drive to her friend's house way out in the countryside. So I'll go ahead and we'll see you guys on the next live stream. I'll do a live stream on Monday, and then Karina will be on the next live stream on Wednesday. And maybe I can convince her to do the live stream Monday. Depends how busy she is and how tired she is. Because remember, she's working long hours. See you guys. I'll see you guys on Monday at 6 p.m. Central Time. And CQ, thank you for that super chat. And Fazat, make sure, get those planes, make sure that plane doesn't get delayed. Have a backup plan. I'm serious. Have a backup plan to be able to leave, for her to leave Thailand to get to America before her medical exam expires. Have a backup plan.